We are following breaking news. The White House has now issued a timeline for when President Trump will decide whether to take action against Iran. This is Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt just moments ago.
Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks.
Now, in the meantime, Iran claims that it's shooting down Israeli drones over Tehran. And moments ago, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to strike all of Iran's nuclear facilities. Let's go to CNN's Clarissa Ward, who is live for us in Israel. Clarissa, does Israel believe that Trump has 2 weeks' time to make a decision?
Israel?
Well, we haven't yet had, Brianna, any official reaction here in Israel to this news, this 2-week timeline. But I can tell you, based on conversations I've been having previously, that this is not what Israeli officials want to hear. They had been feeling quietly optimistic. They had given timelines of 24 to 48 hours. I think there's a sense from the Israeli perspective that you have to act when you have the momentum, and that slowing things down and allowing for diplomacy, which is very much the favored option for much of the world, but not here in Israel, that carries a cost with it in terms of potentially losing that momentum. The other question, of course, Brianna, becomes how much firepower does Israel have in terms of keeping up the same level of strikes against Iran, and can they keep that going at the same pace for another 2 weeks?
Well, Israel is poking the bear of Iran's country as much as they can, and what they're capable of doing. I believe, in my opinion, that Israel has a better defense in their country than they do with attacking another country. And let's hear what Karoline Leavitt said in the press briefing room today. Let's check out what she said exactly. I don't really like going on CNN and listening to these people, because they kind of take a few words of what people say and then they translate it in their mushed minds of what they want to hear. Let's hear what Karoline Leavitt says.
Regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you today. So we'll kick it off for questions here in our new media seat. We have Eli Lake from the Free Press. Eli, go ahead.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
The Free Press. The decision to extend the, delay in enforcing the TikTok ban.
Sure.
Can you talk about how the White House understands its constitutional authority in light of the Supreme Court's decision in January that said that the president had to enforce the ban?
Sure.
Who gives a shit about TikTok? We should ban that. If we're going to have TikTok in this country, we use it for education purposes, point blank. This is a stupid question. We're about to go to war with Iran possibly, and this... Oh my gosh, man. People... I need to go to this press briefing room and ask some serious-ass questions. TikTok. Shut up.
Thanks, Kelly. Just to clarify the president's statement just now, when he says that he'll make a decision in the next 2 weeks, is he saying that if Iran does not come back to the negotiating table within the next 2 weeks, that the president will strike?
The president is saying that he will make a decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks. It's very clear and direct.
And is he seeing any signs of progress? He obviously is holding out hope for negotiations, but is he seeing any inklings of progress that give him that hope that talks are still possible?
Well, that's why he said in the statement that I just read for all of you, based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, he will make that decision within the next 2 weeks.
What makes him think there's still a substantial chance, is my question.
I'm not going to get into the reasoning and the rationale the president believes that, but that's his position, and he will make a decision within the next 2 weeks.
President Trump has said previously in regard to Russia, he's used this phrase about 2 weeks several times in terms of we expect a 2-week deadline and then you give another 2-week deadline. How can we be sure that he's going to stick to this one on making a decision on Iran?
Well, in those deadlines, as you've seen in respect to Russia, Ukraine, might I add, these are two very different, complicated global conflicts, as you know, that the president inherited from our previous incompetent president
True.
and the weakness of the
True.
previous administration. And the president has spent a tremendous amount of time and effort cleaning up these crises that were caused by the last administration's just complete dereliction of duty on the world stage and American weakness. Now we have American strength again.
What exactly would a deal with Iran need to entail?
No enrichment of a uranium, and it would absolutely not. Iran is not absolutely not able to achieve a nuclear weapon. The president has been very clear about that. And by the way, the deal that Special Envoy Witkoff proposed to the Iranians was both realistic and acceptable within its terms, and that's why the president is sent that deal to them.
Follow up on what you told Natalie. Are the talks that the United States is currently having with Iran direct, or are those through intermediaries? And if so, which countries are acting as the intermediary right now?
Out of respect for the ongoing discussions and negotiations, I am not going to get into the details of them. We've provided you confirmation for now.
I know things are going day by day right now. The president wants maximum optionality. Is the possibility of the U.S. getting involved in regime change in Iran at all on the table at this point?
The
And then I have one on
president's Sure. The president's top priority right now is ensuring that Iran cannot obtain a nuclear weapon and providing peace and stability in the Middle East.
Iran has 2 weeks to sit down, come to the table, and make a deal with President Trump. And I hope they do this, because I know right now the United States, they're getting their war plans together in case something happens. I think we are on extra alert right now just because of what's going on right now between Israel and Iran. This has got to stop. It needs to stop right here, right now, because if it doesn't, it's going to get out of hand. More countries will get involved. Allies will start to support each other, and this is how a global conflict will initiate. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. And also, I'm not saying these things to scare or freak anybody out. This is reality, and this is what happens in life. We need competent, good leaders that run countries to secure the safety of their people and also negotiate peaceful terms with other countries. When we have failed leadership, like we had in the last administration, it causes chaos, and everybody does whatever they think is right for their own country, lying to their own people about their intentions, and really causing a disruption in peace worldwide. All right, guys, till next time, peace out.